Just tell me when it shows up on there. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Aha, there we go. I knew we'd get this stuff figured out and get it working sooner or later. So, happy Saturday, everybody. It's good to see you. Really busy week, as you can tell. I haven't even made it back to the house yet, but it gives us a unique opportunity today to hang out with some animals. Those of you guys that's been following us on Facebook, probably seen the last couple pictures we put up of the little silver foxes that are running around out here. So we're in their pen right now. And fortunately, they've decided to leave me alone for a couple minutes. They love chewing on my pants. So there's a good possibility that we're going to be finishing this thing in boxers if these guys keep coming back here and trying to rip my pants off of. So it's going to be a little bit odd trying to get all of the chats addressed and stuff like that. I may not be able to display them on the screen the way I usually do, but I still will do my level best not to miss any. And at the same time, keeping an eye on these little guys. What are you doing? Okay, so they're entertaining themselves now. Let's see who we got out here with us real quick. Of course, it would be right in front of the camera. Let's see. So of course, Neva from Alagan Zoo, where we are at, is over here with us tonight. And I should have made her a moderator, but I didn't think about it early enough. So I've got to do all this stuff myself, and you guys get this weird perspective of me reaching here messing with the phone. So Rachel is with us. Good to see ya. Sam, happy Saturday to you. Brandon, Megan, good to see ya. Flora, Caitlin, my daughter is on. She just called me like 2 minutes before we went live. I was like, okay, cool. I got to call you back. We're getting ready to go. So she had some interesting news that I won't go into here, but Asm, good to see ya. My mother is there. Apparently she's just gotten out of an eye surgery, and you won't be missing a whole lot. Well, I don't know. We'll see what these fox decide to do. They might be pretty crazy tonight. Travis, good to see ya. John from Tipping Scales. Real quick, guys, any of you guys that don't follow John's channel, I strongly recommend you to do so. Tipping Scales is his. He puts out some really good videos. He does some really good work. And he kind of, he's kind of like me in the sense that he's not afraid to touch on some touchy topics. If there's anything that's kind of controversial going on in the community, he's not afraid to address it. So definitely a good guy to keep up with. Okay. Come on, work with me here. This is so awkward trying to do all this stuff on the phone. But Jay, good to see you. Leland, Nicole. Yeah, drink some water and some coffee. Yeah, I can't really bring the coffee out here or else these animals will destroy it. So this will be probably the only time you guys ever see me out here on a live stream without drinking coffee. Excuse me. Oh, I was asking what my thoughts on Snyder and emerald tree skinks. I don't keep skinks, so I don't really have too much to say about them. Outside of, I do think they're pretty cool. If anybody has any input on those, then by all means, feel free to drop that down there and help him out. Let's see. Al, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, we've got let me go ahead and get caught up on these really quick. Hey, Lita's here. Okay, come on. Get down there. Dean W is here. Good to see ya. Okay, let me see if I can get to the end of these and get caught up. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. Seriously? Here in just a minute, I'm sure one of these guys are going to hop up on me again. You can kind of see I'm running around in the background. Really quick, before we get too far into everything, of course, I'm not in a position where I can go ahead and share screens and show everybody the USARK homepage. But for those of you guys that are new, that haven't been hanging out with us on Saturdays, I have always got the link to the USARK, USARK.org, down in the description of all the videos. For those of you guys that aren't familiar, they are very instrumental in helping us find and beat down legislation that stands to not just impact reptile keeping, but exotics keeping in general, even laws that pertain to cats, fish, dogfish, hamsters, anything you can think of. Just like the Colorado pet tax that USARK identified and helped mobilize the community to get letters and everything written to the state legislature and get that stuff knocked out. Quit eating my chair. So yeah, if you guys are not currently following USARK, by all means, go down to USARK.org, check them out. Right on your home screen, on your landing page there, they've got the recent alerts that they're working with and all of that. So it's really good information that we all need. Now, okay, are you gonna come over here? This one right here wants to start nibbling on my back. Don't you go crazy? These guys have got a really cool story behind them. Right now in this pen, we've got 4 of them in here. There's a total of, alrighty. Oh my God, I got stuff for you guys. Where can I set this where it's safe? It'll sit right there. But right now there's 4 of them. There's 7 in this full litter right here. Here at the zoo, they've already got a breeding pair of silver fox that are up in a display cage up front. And cool story behind them. They actually were rescued from a fur breeding stock. So these animals were, I think, up in Virginia and were at a facility. Was it Tennessee? So it was Tennessee where they was at a facility where they're breeding fox for fur, and those 2 somehow managed to get adopted out of it. So as a result of that, they've ended up here, and now there are 7 of them out of those. Like I said, 4 of them are in here. One of them inside. The rest of the litter ended up getting beat up a little bit, so she stays in there. She's healing up really well. And there's 2 others that have been adopted out. But there's some interesting legal aspects to keeping foxes. And I know here in North Carolina, the big thing, hey, that's my bell. The big thing out here in North Carolina is any like indigenous animal to North Carolina is a no-go for any kind of keeping without special permits and things like that. Silver fox are one of the ones that are okay to keep because they're not local animals. They are, however, hey, you want something that tastes better than my pants? Okay, that's finger. Ow. Yeah, these I've heard a lot of people say here recently, talking about how much they would love to have fox as pets, and not really what I would consider my first choice. They may look a lot like dogs, but their natural demeanor is a lot different, and they are much more difficult to do things like house train and stuff like that. So these are something they're going to take they're going to take a lot of space and a lot of attention. So they're not a really easy animal to keep. So I really wouldn't recommend anybody jumping right out and trying to get it. How you doing? So yeah, I know today was a little bit off topic from the reptile stuff. I'm going to talk while I'm managing these little guys. And my first thought today was going to be, hey, down here. There you go. My first thought today was to just kind of sit inside the air conditioning and grab the black rat snake and kind of sit out there with him. But never had the idea coming in here and just talking with you guys out here in the fox pen today. So yeah. Over here. Over here. There you go. Making friends with food. But let me see. So I am really terrible here about trying to keep up on the phone with these comments. It's so out of character for me because I'm used to reading and responding to everything that comes through. I've seen a couple new folks stop in. Ken is up. Man, long time no see. How you doing? Gerald, good to see you. North Carolina Exotics is on. Good afternoon, evening. Oh, wow. Hazim's a crocodilian keeper. He's got an American alligator. Yeah, it doesn't take them long to outgrow a 12-foot enclosure. That's for sure. Yeah. Scabby was talking about a sanctuary that works with foxes and how they talk about them being terrible pets. They can be worked with, and they can be, they can be tamed down really good. They can be taught. It just takes a lot of extra effort. So I'm kind of, they're kind of like the Nile monitors. You can work with them, but you're going to have your work cut out for you. Kenley, good to see you. Yeah, and it's of course, since we're recording outside and it's North Carolina and it's quite warm out here. Oh. Oh man. Jar Jar, you made it. How you doing? Hey, Laura was asking what the car ride was for today. We were just kind of going out. God. Where was we going again today? Oh, he's going to pick up Alex. That's right. Yeah, he's going to pick up a volunteer out here at the zoo. And we decided to see how he was going to do, how she was going to do out here in the car. And I made a nice picture too. So find a place to put that where I don't have to babysit it. So yeah, before I turn the camera on over here, these guys were all jumping all over my back and stuff. They would have been real easy to see in the camera. But I actually had to, instead of setting the camera up on a tripod out here that I knew these guys was going to knock over every 5 seconds, actually hanging a monopod from the top. And so the camera's hanging there. So if you see things kind of move a little bit like that as I walk away from it, then that explains why. But I thought this would be a cool thing for everybody to see, get a chance to see some different animals. It's one thing that I'd kind of like to do on the channel. Of course, we're still going to be talking about the reptile stuff, but I'd like to start including some different kind of animals in it. Yeah, especially, it just all kind of worked out because fox are one of those types of animals that everybody's in love with. Everybody wants as a pet, but like I said, it's another one that you really got to be careful about taking on the responsibility of because they're a lot to handle. And just like when we talk about anything, I'm just like primates and stuff like that. Everybody thinks how cool it would be to have a monkey. but most people that I have talked to that have kept them have talked about what a nightmare they are. She found them. Get you guys a bowl over here. These guys are vicious about their food. They will tackle each other and roll all over each other and stuff. So, see, which one of you guys is going to come up here? You guys got to come up and say hi. Here. Yeah. There you go. This one right here is one of my favorites. There's no question at all that this one's a silver, right? And this is one of the sweetest ones too. He's like one of the ones that bites the least. Ain't ya? Here's the sweet little guy. So let's see, current event stuff. Let me see. Any tips on the emu situation? I'm not familiar with the emu situation. Let me see if there's anything. See. Oh, hey, Jed made it. Good to see you. And you know what's really funny here too? I wish I could turn this thing around. But there's a couple peahens, female peacocks running around here. And these things are so bold. There's two of the other little fox out the back. And stupid peahens are sticking their heads into the fox cage and drinking out of the water bowls. Fortunately, they're ignoring them. But these are the bravest birds you'll ever see. So I know last week was the episode where we was talking about Jay Brewer out of Prehistoric Pets, and I was kind of getting some feedback, putting my feelers out there in the community to kind of see what everybody's opinion was on doing a video, just kind of calling out what's going on out there. And I got pretty much everybody that was in that live stream last week said, yeah, man, you should do it. He's putting our reptiles in a bad light and all that stuff. And I've kind of come up with the approach that I want to take on that. But I decided to not do it quite yet, since I'm in a position right now where I haven't been putting out a whole lot of content. I wanted to focus on this behavior series that we started. If you guys haven't seen it yet, as of it was Friday was the last video we managed to put out, and it was the first video in a series discussing snake behavior. And I wanted to, if you have seen it, this will kind of be a replay. If you haven't seen it yet, what my plan is I find myself doing when people send me questions, or if I see questions come up and I think, I know I've done a video on that will really help them, with whatever it is that they're dealing with. I've got 300 uploads on this channel now, and there's no real organization to it. So finding the right videos can be kind of difficult. And if you can't find it, then it doesn't do you any good. So I want to start taking some of the stuff that I've done and compiling it into series. When I did the retic series, that was real easy. Go from beginning to end, everything about retics in like 6-7 episodes, something like that. And then the Nile Monitor series, we did the series on the new Tegu handling. And, so all of these different things give people a real easy place to go and find what it is that they're looking for, answer specific questions and things like that without having to try and scroll through 300 videos and try and figure out which one's going to be the best. So like I said, we got our first one put out Friday, and I'm going to do my level best to get an update out every week on it. Uh, Basically, the first one I was talking about was just um, starting from the understanding of how snakes behave in the wild. And I know a lot of you guys may have heard me say this before, but that's kind of our goal when we're working on, especially the big snakes, because we want to be chilled out, want to be relaxed, we don't want to be afraid of us, things like that. And that's the way they are in the wild, naturally. Uh, if you watch any documentary where the snake doesn't know the person's filming them, they're just nice and chill, cruising around, having fun, all that stuff. It's not until humans try interacting with them that the snake says, "No, I don't like you," and you get that negative behavior. And of course, that's going to carry into captivity if they're not socialized properly. Bring them in. Uh, so that was kind of like a quick synopsis of kind of the thing that we hit on with the first video, going into the different modes that they're in. You'll hear Kevin McCurley talk about this all the time, about being sleeping, defensive, um, food mode, and thinking mode, exploration mode is what I call it sometimes, and exhibiting breeding behaviors. So I mean, the snakes are pretty simple. In fact, that they don't have a whole lot of. You guys are a bunch of little chow hounds. Come here. Come here. So they don't have a whole lot of different modes that they're right in, but it can be kind of difficult to read the behavior because they don't have facial expressions, they don't have eyelids. You pretty much got to watch their tongue and kind of their body movements and things like that. So it's not always an easy thing to teach right away. So that's what the whole series is going to do. The next series is I'm just going to kind of go through the. Well, come on. She almost jumped, but the whole series, I really want to go in and kind of break down specifically. This is what this is what they look like when they're sleeping. This is what we can expect to see from them. This is what they look like when they've got an active food response. And this is kind of, I want to find a whole bunch of different examples of, what a food response looks like, what it looks like when they're defensive, and then see if I can go into ways of countering that behavior. Because ultimately, of the 5 modes that the snakes are going to be in, our goal is to get them in thinking mode. We want a thinking animal that knows what's going on, that knows you're not food, that knows you're not a threat, and just wants to get out and explore and work with good stuff. So, such a great kid. Come here. You just want belly rubs. Oh my god. Great. Great. Yeah. Don't do it. That's one thing about these guys. They love to fight. You gotta stop that. Way too bad. Get out of there. So these are like having a bunch of 3-year-olds around that have been drinking espresso all day when they get excited. Ain't that right? It's really difficult to get them to stop biting. I guarantee you walk in, you take your shoes off, the fox that's inside will find your toes in a hot second. Let me see. I'm going to try and do this without making the phone jump around too much. Let's see. Hey, Christina, good to see you. It's been a while since we've seen you. Christina's a good friend of ours, good friend of the channel. And we're actually going to be doing an event August 3rd, which I am going to go into here in a second. Let's see. Hey, my pants, please. Capital. I'm going to try to get to this really quick because they're all ripping at my belt. Okay. And stop this thing from shaking. Mm. How is the audio coming through? Somebody jump in there too and let me know how the audio is coming through on this. I was kind of concerned about it. Of course, concerned about the video quality too, because this is actually our first live stream I've done on the phone. So, okay, cool. Outstanding. So for those of you guys too that are, okay, awesome. For any of you guys that are in the North Carolina area, a couple things I really want to encourage you guys to do. First one is if you guys are near High Point on August 3rd, myself, Jim and Christina Hill, and we're working on getting Jeremy from Brass Man Reptiles as well out with us. Aubrey Pruitt and we got little pickpocket stop. And Cody Allen comes out with us. We have a couple other people too. But we're going to be at the Nido Children's Museum on the 3rd. And typically we all bring 1 or 2, 3 different animals. We've got some stations set up out there with, big tortoises and big snakes and little snakes and local snakes and exotic stuff and all that. Anything that we can muster together. And the museum hosts us, and they sell tickets, have a bunch of folks come in and interact with the animals and stuff like that. It was a really big hit last year, so they contacted us again this year. Just stop. And they were really excited to have us back. We're excited to go back too. So sneak that in there. Well, I guess you're just going to have to stay up here since you're not going to stop chewing on anything. So yeah, if you guys are in the area August 3rd, I believe that's a Saturday, definitely make your way out there. It's a lot of fun. We got some good folks out there. And I don't want to go saying what the admission is through the museum. We do it for free. We don't charge the museum to do anything, but the museum charges standard admission anyway. And this has been a really popular event for them. So, to help support them, to help support the educational work that all of us do that go out there. Really excited about doing that. And let's see. Tara made it. Good to see you. Let's see. I need to be quiet, chicken. Yeah, I'm really surprised that the none of the donkeys have drifted behind us here. They make their way over to this little area right here. Unfortunately, the emus can't make it over here. They got a fence blocking them off over there. Let's see. God, it's hard to read, but I can still see it. So that says something. I'm 51, and I can still read the fine print here. Okay, it looks like all the fox are exhausted now. You need to come up here too, because you look, hey, crazy. Hey, you. Oh, you stay out of there. I'm gonna wait. There's one sitting here that's pretty unique looking that I'll snatch up as soon as he comes around me again. But okay, so another thing that I wanted to mention is that we're out here at the Alagan Zoo, and this is out in northwestern North Carolina in the hills. For those of you guys, like I said, for those of you guys that follow my social media and Facebook and stuff like that, I posted a couple pictures of the area out here. It's a gorgeous place, really kind of secluded. And there's an Airbnb out here. They've got a petting zoo where you can go through, feed the animals, interact with them. There's all kinds of stuff out here from coatimundis, kinkajou, the fox. I can't remember what maras, Patagonian maras. There's a couple of those up there, which are really cool looking animals. Um, there's the emus and donkeys, all this stuff. The goats, and of course the birds running around that everybody can interact with. So it's a cool little place. And uh, if you're looking for a place to just kind of go and get away from it and check out the animals and stuff like that, really kid-friendly place, of course. Uh, Definitely encourage everybody to come check it out. Would you please stop? Would you please stop? Why do you insist on chewing everything? Yeah, the poor girl that's inside. It's a gorgeous little fox, man. She's black with the silver highlights in her fur. And like I said, she's the runt of the litter, and one of them had gotten a hold of her neck, like right behind the ear, and opened her up. So uh, she's been under care for a little while, and she's finally healed up, which is huge. But these guys should be here for a while. So, oh, you don't want to go anywhere? I just sit here. Just sit here. I should have found out too. I'm not entirely sure what area of the country these guys are local to. Like I said, they're not local to North Carolina. So, hey, what area of the country are these local to?
Those guys are Russian silver fox. There's a Russian silver fox.
Really? So they don't?
Yeah.
Russian. They don't breed here at all.
Well, they could technically interbreed with red fox.
Well, I mean, they don't naturally occur
Oh
here in
no,
the
silver
States.
fox.
Oh, okay, cool. See, didn't know that. So these are Russian. I guess that might explain the constant fighting and stuff like that, huh? Is that what it is? Let's see what we got here. And we will be, let's see. Okay. Let me see if I can catch the rest of these. Tara said she used to have a mini donkey. Yeah, there's one of those out here too. Matter of fact, I think that the video that I put out from here, where he was running around walking with the emus and stuff like that, the donkey that you hear in there was the mini donkey. He's the smallest one, but he's the loudest one. And I know I'm messing a bunch of stuff up here, but I'll do my best to. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Oh, Christina had a question. Does the zoo allow herping on the property? If I'm going to the mountains, and I'm definitely herping. You can to some degree. There's not a whole lot of space to herp, really. Although I'm sure Rob, for those of you guys that know Rob Christian, he's like the herping master. I keep saying he goes out with his pocket full of lizards and snakes and just drops them on the ground and says, "Look what I found." So it doesn't matter where we go, he finds something. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of herping opportunities out here. There are some places though, not too far from here. There's some waterfalls and things like that have got some trails around them, uh, where it's kind of free range. You can go out and do whatever you like. We had some impromptu herping out here a couple weekends ago. When it was got started on a koi pond, and as they was getting the rest of the water out of it, there was like 2 water snakes in there that was eating as many koi as they could before they disappeared. So they're out here, that's for sure. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of herping opportunities here at the zoo specifically. Leo, hey, how you doing? No worries, man. Tonight's just kind of a disorganized. I'm here because I am here every Saturday. So we're just kind of winging it and hanging out with some different animals. And see. Let's see. Okay. I'm all caught up again. Finally, Erica, how you doing? Hey, Erica, we are still doing the Patreon Zoom call after this. And I'm probably not going to go quite as long tonight. We got company.
Hi, Chloe.
Yeah, speaking of donkeys, one of them just decided to come strolling up. But so yeah, we probably won't be on here too terribly long. Our Zoom calls typically start at 8:30, so we'll have plenty of time to hit that. Move up here a little bit closer here and read this stuff. Hey, Mike made it. Good to see you, man. Now, the other one come over here too. All right. So for those of you guys that are just getting on and typically sit in on my live streams and notice that I'm in a different spot, as soon as one of them walks over here again. Come on. You're one of the ones that I wanted to get over here anyway. You got a little bit different colors than the rest of them. Look at you. And I spend all this time too talking about how difficult they are and how squirrely fox can get. And now all of them are just going to sit here and behave and be good. Really? You're making a liar out of them. Don't bite. These are so good. Yeah, this doesn't make my taste to take these things seriously, does it? So yeah, for those of you guys that are just jumping on, we're actually out here in the mountains, North Carolina today. Was not going to be coming back in to the house, so I'm going to stay out here and do the live from out here. Yeah, it is. It's really it's a unique opportunity. Made a new friend, and that friend just happens to work with all these animals for a living. So imagine that. Birds of a feather, right? But it works out pretty good. I mean, at some point here, you know, like I said, we're still going to be doing all of the still going to be doing all the reptile stuff. That's for sure. None of my reptiles are going anywhere, and I still want to keep focusing pretty heavy on that. Stop crying. But I do want to be able to start adding some different species in there, some different types of exotics, and spice things up a little bit, because we can all stand to learn about all of them. You know, one thing that, you know, if nothing else from today, you know, we can use this as an awareness that there are still fox fur breeding facilities where they breed these animals for the sole purposes of getting their fur, which is something, of course, I'm not a big fan of. Yeah, it's same thing as the video that I put out a while back about the retic trade on Indonesia, with the number of retics that they harvest out there just for their skins. Yeah, all that stuff is so senseless. And we don't need your fur for anything. We got friggin' Walmart. If I want something to put on my back, I can use that. I don't have to. Really. Okay. No. Ah. I'll bite you back. There. Yeah, these guys are such a trip. Of course, this is one thing that you really wouldn't want to do if you was in their parents' enclosure. Uh, the adults don't like people quite as much, and the little biting that they start doing as kids. And I guess you can't blame them considering where they came from. Uh, you can get in there and feed them things like that. It's not like they're going to attack you like a bunch of gremlins or anything, but you got to be careful with anything. Pretty much anything that's not a domesticated dog, domesticated cat. You do got to take into consideration that they're not too far removed from wild animals. Much the same way our F1, F2 reticulated pythons aren't that far removed from the wild. Um, their behavior may not have kind of stabilized to what we want it to be quite yet, and it can be a little trickier to work with. Kind of the same thing with all these two, because there's not a whole lot of breeding going on with them. So, oh, there we go. I'm again hitting the wrong thing. Let's see. I guess my mom had to bail out. I guess the eye surgeries have got to suck. Yeah, I don't know what you're responding to, but it's really funny because I was wearing my shirt all day today that said I like snakes and maybe 3 people. Um, I guess I should really change that to say I like snake people and maybe 3 people. So I haven't seen too many snake people that I really don't like, but everybody else, there's really only about 2 or 3 of them out there that. Of course, I'm one of them crusty old army guys too. So just had something on the tip of my tongue I was going to say too. What are you doing? Oh, what was it? I had something fairly important that I was going to bring up too before I got sidetracked reading all of these. I guess I'll scroll back and see what else I can find here. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about USARK. We've talked about the event on August 3rd. And we've talked about the zoo out here. Now, if you guys come out here to North Carolina, you got to hang out here. It's on Airbnb, Alagan Zoo. Can't miss it. Matter of fact, I'll make sure I put the link to the Facebook page on a lot of the photos that I take out here. Started putting that link up there for everybody, and the videos too. I need to make sure that it's on those as well. So, and it was something almost important that I was thinking of too. I guess it wasn't too terribly important. Yeah, that's about right. Leo said the thing on the tip of my tongue was a fox. Yeah, it really was. It's funny when they come up and they little goobers. They'll come up and they get in your face and they like to bite your nose, and they've been really good so far in this video. And I really don't know how they've gained the self control to be nice for as long as they were. I guess they recognize that there's a camera there and they got to behave. But um, bite my nose and I bit their nose back, and she just kind of looked at me really confused and then hadn't done it again. Then we've got the donkeys hanging out on the corner. Let's see. We're going to turn this around just a little bit. Hey, you. Oh, I'm sure they'll make their way back around. Got 2 of them just hanging out over here in the corner like they own the place. What is this? Where we at? Oh, damn. Somebody talking about bringing pelts to a reptile show. That's not cool. I'm really close to remembering what in the hell it was I was going to say a minute ago. Oh. Yeah, I think Judd's talking about the same shirt that I was wearing today. Oh. I guess just throw a couple of them down right there and I'll turn the camera over. Keeping donkeys set up so they can see them. Yeah, all the foxes laid down there, passed out. I had too much excitement today. All right. So since I've got the hanging tripod thing, we've got some weirdness going on with this right now. We'll do that. And we'll do that. There's a couple of our little buddies we're hanging out with today. Get up. All right. A little spring-loaded stool I'm sitting on over here. If I don't hit it just right, I'll do a backflip for everybody. I don't know. Nobody wants to see that. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. These guys are such a riot. The little white one over there was the one that was making all the noise when I was taking the video of the emus. Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I've got the, if I hadn't mentioned it before, I don't remember if I did or not, but I've got the Intrepid Exotics website actually up and online right now. I've got some other things that I want to be adding to it, but I've kind of got the outline there. I don't have the email set up with it yet, but I want to start adding some different references to it. Maybe one of those things so that um, like a FAQ type deal or something that we can list on there. Get some blogs put up on there. Also got a lot of you guys know too. I started really practicing nature and wildlife photography with the gear that I've gotten for recording the channel, all as part of just trying to get better with the equipment, improve the quality of the videos, and in the process of learning all of this stuff, I started practicing some techniques for bird photography. I just got completely absorbed with it. It's really cool, and have managed to pull some pretty cool stuff out of it. But of course, here over the course, I've started a little bit. Here over the course of the next couple of weeks, going to be digging even more into the video side, and hopefully, as we start moving along, we can start getting some top-notch video out. I know looking back at some of the older stuff that I've done, I mean, like I said, for the first year and a half, 2 years or something, I was doing all this stuff on the cell phone. So uh, that, that needed to be improved pretty bad to begin with. But Yeah, let me hit you guys really quick with a question, man. What what videos have you seen that I've put out that you think I could really stand to put out again, either more concise or better quality, stuff like that? What topics would you guys like to see me go into more detail on? I know I've got um, the behavior series that has started and will continue on over the next few weeks. Uh, but as I get time too, I'd like to throw some other stuff in there. So if you guys have got any suggestions for anything specific that you'd like to see, uh, by all means, drop down the comments. Let me know. Um, I am going to uh, I am going to do that video on Jay. Um, and I've been thinking about it for a long time, even after getting so much feedback from people saying that I should. The reason why it's taken me so long is I'm really trying to find the right way to formulate. Because I want this video to be something that Phil Goss could take up to the state capitals, press play, and demonstrate to them why they've got the wrong impression of these animals because of this kind of bad media that goes out about them. I don't want it to be something where it's just like, okay, I hate Jay Brewer and all this other crap. Because I mean, that's not it. I don't know the guy. I got nothing personal against him. I've never been to his place. I don't know firsthand how he keeps his animals. All I know is he engages in a whole lot of dumbassery with animals that we spend a lot of effort trying to calm people down about, fighting his retics. That's the big thing. So it's going to take a little while for me to really find the most professional way to go about that. But I don't want it to be I don't want it to be just going out and slamming anybody. And it's not going to be a regular series or anything like that. I just want something really concise that's going to get the point across. And ultimately, and this is kind of the consensus of stop it off the shoe. But I mean, this is kind of the consensus of everybody that asked about it too. Uh, they'd like to see something, but we just want to see him stopping that behavior. Who is that? Thought there was somebody behind me. There was something really big just flew over here a minute ago too. No, I couldn't tell. I just seen the shadow. The pterodactyl, I think. Let's see. Offhand. I would like to be more help on this one, asking if I knew offhand. I've got a Florida king snake and the milk snake. And honestly, any of my animals that don't weigh in pounds, I haven't weighed them and I don't know how much they weigh. The only weights that I'm fairly certain of is I know my female retic's about 80 pounds, my male's about 70 pounds. And I don't even weigh any of my smaller ones. Yeah. And Tara makes a good point, talking about Jay. He could really use his platform for spreading good rather than spreading ignorance. There's a lot to be said for that. And that's one thing that I want to address in that video too. Because you'll hear this same crap all the time from people that are followers of his or something. And be like, well, you're just jealous because he's got blah. It's like, yeah, jealousy doesn't even come into it. I'll compare resumes outside of the reptile world with Jay Brewer any day of the week. There's nothing at all about him that makes me jealous. Would it be nice to have a zoo? Yeah. It'd be even better because I wouldn't do stupid shit with it and sit there and fight these big snakes and give people reasons to pass bad laws against them. So like I said, man, there's just he could do so much better out there. I mean, he's not a total moron. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to work with the animals. he knows how to come so close on those bites without actually getting hurt. And it's one of the things that really bugs me when he does that, is because I've seen some really nasty bites, people really getting hurt from big retics, and he plays it off like it's a joke. Um, you know, it can be pretty easy to manage a big bite. It can also be really nasty. Um, and he's an experienced enough handler to where he knows um, how to instigate them and how to get away with it without really getting hurt. He might get a little bit of blood drawn or something like that from time to time. But if you get somebody that's a new snake keeper that sees him with 500,000 or 5 million subs, whatever it is, and thinks he is a good place to learn how to handle them, they're going to get hurt. They're going to see him doing those things with their animals. He's going to try the same thing, thinking it's just a little bite, it's not going to hurt, and something bad's going to happen. I mean, it's one of the things about working with these animals and teaching people about them, is you've got to acknowledge the fact that although they can be very safe to work with, they can also be very dangerous and they can kill you. Um, you know, and your dog can kill you. Anything can freaking kill you, but you don't disavow that fact or treat it like it's, or disrespect it. You know what I mean? Um, for entertainment purposes, I just really, that's never set well with me. Oh, okay. You guys are still talking about the littler snakes. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? So another thing too, that you guys can let me know if there's any other species of animal that you might want to see me kind of spotlight in something. Um, Go over, talk about, make videos about, stuff like that. By all means, let me know. Um, like I said, just because we're primarily about reptiles doesn't mean that we're 100% about reptiles. We can talk about other stuff too. That's why I called it Intrepid Exotics instead of Intrepid Snakes. Um, Actually, when I first started it, I was planning on starting up marine aquariums again and starting to raise fish. So I was like, well, um, I'm going to name it something broad like exotic, so that when I start up the aquariums again, then it all fits together and it's all exotics and blah blah blah. But needless to say, I haven't started up any aquarium. So, but we're up for talking about anything. Oh, all righty, Sam. Thank you. It's good to see you, man. We'll see you next Saturday. Da, 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 da. Cole says it'd be cool to see me make a video about a bear cat named Stitch. There's got to be a reference there that I'm missing. Um, I don't know, for any of the South Park fans out there, maybe we can do one on Man Bear Pig. We are up in the mountains. I've heard he resides here, just on the other side of the hill from the Sasquatch. Ah, alarm's going off. Stop that. I'm welcome to come play with the Woma python and the bull snake if I really want angry snake to get bit by. At some point, I may have to take you up on that, because there's been a couple instances now where I've been told I've taken on a snake or an animal that's just going to bite me and destroy me. And it never seems to happen for some reason. Ain't that right? You guys will bite the hell out of it, won't you? You gonna say hi to everybody? Here, get up in the camera. Say hi. I don't know. I really think these guys are starting to calm down a little bit. They're in pretty good hands out here. They put a good deal of effort into trying to break them biting all the time, and and working with them and handling them so that they're not completely insane. So, all right, go lay down. They're all ready to go to sleep, I think. Prairie dog and rat videos. Where we at? Uh, there's actually, yeah, we'll have to do more prairie dog stuff because there's prairie dogs at the house. There are also prairie dogs here, so that would be something to be pretty easy to work with. Yeah, yeah. She was translating for the fox. He was actually telling you guys that he is very wild and very dangerous, and for me to put him down before he eats me. Looks like I missed one of them. Let's see. Talking about smaller snakes and blood pythons being bad. I haven't kept bloods. I was over and Jeremy's got some brass man, and he's got one over there that I've heard they can be a little punchier than most. Hey, short tail pythons, a big cranky jerk in the summertime, huh? A lot of people at my day job say that I'm a big cranky jerk in the summertime too. Um, they also say that I'm a big cranky jerk in the wintertime, but they're not snake people, so they just don't get me. So it's okay. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna roll through, get caught up on the rest of these things here real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Oh yeah, I guess I should have probably went off on their names while they were coming out, but I'm terrible with person names. I'm very bad with animal names, and you guys that have ever heard me trying to name an animal, I'm just terrible with them. I got my daughter's name right when I named her, and ever since then it's been all downhill from there. Uh, Leo was asking about the worst bite I've received. Um, hmm, I'm being honest, it's probably the damn prairie dog. Rodents hurt. Um, sorry, everybody's all napping, and I coughed, and they all jumped. Um, Now let's see. Worst bite I've ever taken from a retic was about a 16, 17 footer. Food response got me on the wrist and immediately wrapped me up. Wrapped around my arm, went around my head, my shoulders, and all that stuff. And took me about 5 minutes to get her off. And one of these days, I need to figure out a way to do a really good bite video too, where we're showing um, how you physically remove a big snake from somebody. I could probably do that with Monty, um, my biggest retic, and just kind of wrap her around me, and then have somebody else and demonstrate how you can manage it. But yeah, that was the worst one. It I got tendon damage out of it. I can't pull my wrist or my hand backwards quite as far as I used to because when she got me, she damaged some of the tendons, and I got some scar tissue in there. The worst bite I've ever seen was I got two bones in his hand broken, taking the glass off of a bottom enclosure, and he wasn't paying attention to where the snake was at, didn't take the time to look down and see him or manage him in any way. And he went down, he started to pull that glass off, and the snake hit him, ran his hand across the side or into the side of the enclosure, and immediately bit him and wrapped him up. So he, of course, had to bite, some pretty good tearing on his hand, and two broken bones from the strike too. Uh, that was that was probably the worst one I'd seen, and I had to Had to save a guy who had one coiled around his neck and he was about ready to go out. I actually had just heard like a little grunt coming from a distance away, and I almost completely dismissed it. And I was like, I better go at least see. And went over there, and the guy had been reaching up for yeah, maybe a 15, 16-foot snake. And it's kind of hard to tell when they're wrapped around and you're just focused on getting them off. But it had bitten him under here and threw two coils around his neck, had him completely locked up. He couldn't get him off the neck. He was purple. Eyes were starting to roll back in his head and everything. So he was getting ready to go down. And if I wouldn't have went over to check on him when I did, there's a good likelihood he would have went down. And it's hard to say. He is at the mercy of the snake at that point. As soon as he hits the ground, that snake's either going to release or it's not. I mean, he's either going to live or he's not. Much like the guy that was up in PA, an 18-footer, I think. That I guess the guy did snake rescue and he had it over there and he was handling him and let the snake around his neck or something like that. He ended up dying because of it. So, the stuff like that. Fortunately, a lot of it doesn't hit the news. A lot of people are getting really good about not dramatizing all the negativity and all that. But then you get jackasses like Jay who just keep dramatizing the negativity, and we can't get them to stop. But let's see. Nicole was talking about the Patagonia Mara being cool to see. We can definitely do something. They're not near as handleable as the fox are. We can definitely do some stuff on that. At some point maybe I need to just look at doing a series on just different unique species outside of reptiles. Kind of touch on a little bit of everything. Just the National Geographic kind of stuff. Mm. Oh, nameless. Yeah, I seen you came in a little while ago. Not doing too bad, man. I'm very happy that it's not as hot out here as it could be. As you can tell, we're up away from home and decided to just come outside. Like I said, the alternative was to just set the camera up inside and um, sit there and chat. But got an opportunity to sit out here with now the sleeping animals, who, of course, you can't see them through my arm there now. That side, where we at? Okay. Oh, she was sleeping. See, it's a combination of them being all tuckered out from running around and being frustrated that I wouldn't let them shoot my pants off of me. Yeah, these animals are adorable. They really are. Yeah, Gerald had a good point here, talking about the snake bites, about most mouthwash will get them to release most of the time. I've seen that work pretty well. Um, when I got bit, that snake didn't care at all. Um, had that spray bottle in a stream and was just hosing her down. Like I said, took 5 minutes to get her off. She just completely ignored that. Now, I've heard of a couple people besides Garrett, but Garrett Hartle from Reach Out Reptiles is the first one that I've heard of actually chewing on the snake's tail like a corn cob to get him to release. Not biting it off, of course, but just enough to, make him a little bit to inflict a little bit of discomfort on him. And everybody that I've talked to that's tried it said they've immediately released. So that's probably something that I'll try at some point if I ever get bit again. But if I ever get latched onto again, but we'll see. I'm getting pretty good in my old age of avoiding bites. Just like I'm getting really good in my old age of avoiding fights. It hurts a lot less. Uh, where I was asking, what's the pros and cons differences with mouthwash and vodka? I don't know that there is a difference. Um, Mouthwash, I don't know. I would imagine they'd probably work similarly. I've heard people use vodka. I mean, neither of them are pleasant to drink, but you can uh, you can certainly irritate them enough to get them to let go sometimes. Uh, yeah, yeah. Nicole hit the nail on the head. That was going through my mind as I was talking about the corn cob chewing on a tail thing. She said she'd be worried about the snake pooping on her. That would be unpleasant to start doing that and just they decide to musk or something at that particular moment. Because then you get bit and degraded all at the same time. And the snake gets to go back and tell all of his friends and laugh at you. Yeah, yeah. Tara talking about biting a dog's ear to show dominance. I've never done that. That's too close to their face. If they really want to bite you and you're trying to bite their ear, really good chance of losing your nose. Actually, oddly enough, that reminds me of a story from a while back. I can't remember what I was at the hospital for. Um, can't remember whether I was there helping somebody else or if I was jacked up, but I was standing there at the desk, and there was this really big, huge black guy standing there, and he had this bloody towel stuck to the side of his head, and I couldn't help but ask. I was like, "Man, what happened?" And a dog had bitten his ear off, and he pulled it off, and I mean, it was completely gone. There wasn't a piece taken out of it. It was the entire ear was off his head. Damn. And whatever I was there for, I instantly felt better about the reason for being there. I appreciate that, man. I actually got the Snake Whisperer shirt, but I mean, it's not terribly hard, man. Yeah, I think the reason why I get lucky and and it's a little easier for me reacting to the right behaviors with bigger snakes is I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to work with so many monster animals before. I've had those bad experiences. I've had the bites. I know what to expect. So when I'm working with them, and I tell people, don't sit there and poke them with the hook the whole time. You've got to handle them. You can't hook handle a 20-foot snake. You got to hand handle it. You can't hook handle a 16-foot snake or a 14-foot snake. I mean, you've got to have your hands on it and work with it. Um, that just, I don't know, that just makes it a little bit easier for me to um, do what needs to be done with them. So I got lucky in that respect. And it's been really positive too, man. The whole time I've had this channel, constantly have people sending me messages, um, talking about how they are having an easier time working with their animals now. Um, after just small tweaks to what they're doing. I mean, even folks that have been handling for a long time. And I tell everybody, you can have 20 years working with snakes, but if the biggest thing you've kept is like a boa or something like that, like a common boa, it's 7 feet long. It's an entirely different thing mentally when you're looking at a 16, 18-foot animal. Uh, and it's just stuff that comes with patience and experience. But they react about the same way. All right, guys. Well, it is 8:15, and like I said, we've got the Zoom call coming up at 8:30. I'm going to go ahead and get myself and my gear out of the box house because I am not sleeping in here tonight. Of course, I would fit right in because everybody's knocked the hell out. it literally looks like some of the parties that I've been to the morning after when I was younger in here. Food all over the place, empty bowls thrown around, and everybody just passed out on the floor. So it was a good time, and I'm glad you guys got to hang out with us for it. Yeah, guys, let me jump off of here. For those of you guys that are on Patreon, I'm going to go ahead. I sent the link out, sent the email out for it. I'm going to log in and see if I can get all this stuff to work. If for some reason this thing completely blows up on me, like I said, I'll do my best to get in there. I think I've got it figured out, and we should be good. But yeah, I'm going to go in the air conditioning for the Zoom call, and I am not going to be on there for 3 hours again tonight because I am out of town. I'm on schedule, so we're not doing a 3 hour Zoom call. So for everybody else, man, and if you want to get involved in that stuff, man, of course, the Patreon link is always down the bottom of my bottom of this bottom of the description of all my videos. Now, see, if I was a politician and just said something like that in that manner, they'd put that on the news for 2 weeks. It's real easy to get tongue-tied when you're live, man. But yeah, for anybody who wants to jump in on that, we've got an awesome Patreon community. We do that Zoom meetup every Saturday after our live streams. Also got a Discord that I have not been spending as much time on as I need to, but we have it now. So of course, all that stuff's down in the description all the time. So I will have, my goal is prior to next Saturdays to have episode 2 in this series out on handling. So look forward to that. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please get down and do it. It's taken me forever to get to 10,000 subs because I have not had the time to invest in putting out as much content as I want to. So help a brother out. Get down there and click that thing. Now, like I said, we've still got a lot of good stuff coming, and that will start. Hopefully, I'll be able to get that thing out about midweek. So you guys have a great, safe rest of the weekend. If you're in Texas, drink water, find someplace cool to hang out. I understand there's a lot of people out there that are out of power and will be until like the 17th, 19th or something like that. Any place that you guys are at, man, make sure your AC is serviced. Make sure you're taking care of yourself because heat is no joke. I've had heat injuries before in the military. I've had cold weather injuries before in the military, and they will end you quickly if you don't pay attention, take care of yourself. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.